So one quick thing right here with the abortions. So this is from Arizona Capital.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, bud. So the abortion right here is from Arizona Capital Times. It says during February, which is Black History Month, it is a good time to look upon triumphs and tragedies in African American history. Movies like Harriet Let Tell of Heroes of the Underground Railroad. Okay, abortion impacts African Americans at a higher rate than any other population group. In 2011, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention released an abortion study. According to the report, Black women made up 14% of all childbearing population, yet 36% of all abortions were obtained by Black women at a ratio of 474 per 1,000 live births. Black women have the highest rate of any group in the country. When you use these percentages, it indicates that of the over 44 million abortions since 1973 Roe versus Wade Supreme Court ruling, 19 million Black babies were aborted. African Americans are just under 13% of the United States population. White women are 5 times less likely to have an abortion than a Black woman. Perhaps it is a matter of availability. A study by Protecting Black Lives in 2012 found that 79% of Planned Parenthood surgical abortion facilities are located within walking distance of minority communities.
All right. Since you brought up abortions, can we tweak this show just a smidge so we could just talk about that since you brought it up? Just a little bit.
But I only brought that up because you were talking about
the numbers, right?
The population growth.
I feel like that's okay. If we're 13% because we're killing off babies for whatever reason, then so be it.
It's white supremacy.
I'm pro-choice, so that's all I'm gonna say on that.
It's white supremacy. That's why all those murder clinics are in the Black community.
But we welcome it. So okay, so let's just say Savage decided to put a Planned Parenthood right here at the top of my street where they're building, and let's say I was raped, right? Am I going to hate Red for putting that clinic there, or am I going to thank him because I don't want to hate this child?
Well, unfortunately, rape and incest abortions only make up less than 1% of all abortions.
Okay, if I get pregnant willingly, but I can't afford to have this child, and I don't want to be on government assistance, do I hate you for putting that there, or do I thank you because you have solved a problem for me?
No, you hate them.
Why? That's my choice. It's my choice.
To kill your own baby?
It's my choice. That's the thing. It's my right. That's the thing. Regardless of how you feel about it, at the end, it's my right.
To murder to murder your own child. No mammal does that. You know that, right?
That's fucked up, to be honest. But,
okay, but the thing is, it's a choice. So we don't want to depend on government. We don't want to depend on this, that, and the third. And if I had sex with somebody and I say, you know what, I'm in college, I'm doing whatever, or I'm tricking, whatever it is I'm doing, I don't want to bring this child into this world like that. I don't want to bring this child into my bullshit. Now, because that clinic isn't there, I bring this child in here. Now I'm abusing this child. Now the child is being left home alone because I want to be out tricking, or I'm sleeping because I'm sleep deprived trying to study.
You can put the child up for
the child?
Adoption. You can put the baby up for adoption. That's
you
simple.
Absolutely could. How many people put their kids up for adoption and these kids are still being hurt? Me and Savage, weren't we just talking about that earlier?
They can put them up for adoption though.
Yeah, but that's a bad argument because one, that is you not having personal responsibility with what you're doing, and then you're justifying killing the child off of your lack of personal responsibility.
Okay, say I give my child up, and that child is up for adoption, and I found out that child is killed later by that adopted family. You know how I'm gonna feel? Guilty.
You're gonna feel guilty having an abortion.
Not really.
Yeah, you do. Studies prove that women who have abortions have a lot of psychological problems. That's a fact.
Okay. But that's their choice.
You can't murder your own child.
The thing is, you all are wanting to take away choice.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is what it comes down to. You killing that child gives that child absolutely zero opportunity to make anything of its life or have the opportunity or the ability to enjoy a good life. That is the argument. Life is not fair. Not everyone's going to have a great life. Not everyone is going to have rainbows and unicorns as their theme song for their life. But the fact that they have the opportunity is way better than the ability to not at all. That's the argument against abortion.
The thing is, though,
you have the ability to have a good experience. When
you have the ability to do positive and negative, and that's what we don't like to look at. The thing is, at the end of the day, you want to take away choice, regardless of how anybody feels. We all make our own choices, whether it's good or bad. And guess who has to live with those consequences? The person who made that choice.
Yeah, so you want to murder your child. That's a hell of a.
It doesn't matter. Hey, that's their choice, though. If somebody wants to murder their child, that is their choice. How does it hurt another individual?
Well, well, they're making a choice for another human being. It's not their body. The baby's not part of the woman's body. That's a individual unto itself. So they are literally murdering another person.
I work in healthcare, so I know about abortions. Trust me, I've seen. I've got my fair share. I got it. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
no, hang on. You're arguing for murdering somebody. So you're arguing for murdering an innocent, defenseless human being. That's what you're arguing for.
And
I'm not arguing for that.
Yes, you are. You are arguing for killing an innocent, defenseless human being.
If you say that's what I'm arguing for,
no, but you are. That's what abortion is. You're killing a human being.
I'm saying fine. Hear me. I'm saying if that's what you're saying, fine. Then that's what I'm doing. But guess what? It's still my choice.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, Roe versus Wade is not constitutional. It was actually an opinion that was based off of what how the judge wanted to rule on the case. It's not a right. It's not in the. It's judicial precedent. It's not a law. It's not a right. What giving the woman the ability to kill their own children does is it allows them to destabilize their own community and weaken their own community, because that allowed women to have the ability to be more reckless with their sexual reproduction and not put such a heavy stance on marriage and community building.
If that's the case, why do we still have females out here having 5 and 6 damn kids with 7 and 8 baby daddies? Ain't nobody doing shit about that.
Well,
where's the marriage there? There's no stance for any of it. It's just like, okay, you don't have an abortion. We're going to have all these kids, and the government is just going to help you. The government is just taking care of these fuckers.
I got a question for you. Do you have a husband?
I'm divorced. I did have a husband.
So do you believe a woman should be submissive to a man?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion, though. That's not everybody. That's me.
Okay. So if us men said, hey, you know what? If you were submissive, we'll help you. We'll take care of you. We'll marry you. The issue is you have Cardi B, city girls, feminism.
Megan, yeah.
You have independent mindset. You have women that don't want that. I just told you that I got my son's mom pregnant and told her it was I wanted to marry her. We should get married. It's the best thing for our child. She told me no. So she made that choice to be on the system. She chose to not have a father all these problems come down to the responsibility of women's choices. I can't make you do anything. As a man, me just telling you that you should smile is fucked up. As a man, me telling you that you probably shouldn't be drinking late at night, getting plastered drunk with guys you don't know is slut shaming or victim blaming. Like me telling you that you should have walked across the street when there's 3 men because they could overpower you. You took it as, well, why would I have to do that? I know what I can do. I can defend myself. Like you took offense to these ideas. So
well, the thing about that is not that I was taking offense. I did take offense, but it wasn't saying me I can defend myself. I didn't feel the need to have to defend myself. So when you was given that one, I didn't see where you were saying for me. That's why I reversed it and said for maybe for you as a male where you are, but I didn't see that where me being in a situation to defend myself.
But black skin will tell you this. As a man, we are more likely able to defend ourselves than a woman is.
Yeah, that's
so yeah. I definitely don't agree with that. Now I agree there.
But out of the two of us men would probably cross the street because we realize we don't want a disadvantage. But as a woman, you tried to say, well, as a man, we're more likely to defend ourselves, and we're walking our asses across the street to not walk through a group of 3 men.
Right. Because you're a male, better. But most females, we're not a threat. So for a female, most of us aren't a threat to the male, because like you said, we're not masculine. That's not us. So we're not a threat. Again, my little self is not going to be a threat to 3 men.
Yes, but it's not about you being the threat. It's about
they may be a threat to me, but it's not how I think as a female.
Okay, well, black skin, you wanted to come up here, and you had something you want to talk about. But you're right. Planned Parenthood was started by a racist to wipe out the black community.
Yeah, like America. America is a racist country, as has always been. They just need to figure out. Well, look at the structures of America. There's a reason why blacks are gathered in mass in the ghettos, and whites are gathered in mass in the suburbs or the best parts of the city. There's a reason. It's called racism, white supremacy. That's still alive today.
I got a question for you. So when the Irish and the Italians came off the boat in the late and early 1900s, where did they live?
Oh, you got to remember, during Jim Crow and slavery, blacks and whites lived amongst each other. Segregation is a new thing. So blacks and whites lived amongst each other. Absolutely.
But where did the Irish and the Italians live when they came to the States?
All over America, all over, like the Germans and the Jews. They lived all over. The North, the South, the Midwest. They lived all over. There wasn't no specific place they lived. They lived literally all over.
Okay, so when the Irish and the immigrants or the Italians came to America, they largely lived in inner cities, and they lived in the hood.
But they lived all over America. That's a fact. Just like the Jews did.
They migrated.
No, they lived everywhere. The North, the South, the Midwest, Irish, Italians, Jews, Germans, you name them. They lived all over America, just like blacks did.
So where did they move when they came to America? Where did they land?
I just said that Italians and the Irish lived amongst everywhere in America. Wherever they can find a place to live, they lived literally. They literally lived that way. There's no Irish, oh, the Irish must be in the North or this. No, they lived all over the place.
I think they lived all over, but I think they did come from the North. I think they migrated to the North, if I'm not mistaken.
They lived everywhere.
Hang on.
If you talk about slavery, the Irish were slave owners. They were also the laborers in the South. There were laborers in the North, laborers in the Midwest, Ohio, Illinois, places like that. The Irish lived all over. Facts.
Hey, Smooth.
Dude, I don't think you get the point. The point is that it's not the fact that they lived all over. Where did they live? Okay, when they lived all over, where did they live? What parts of the cities did they live?
No. What did I just say? They lived all over. They did not just live in cities.
I swear to God, Savage.
They lived in the country.
Savage.
They lived in states.
Are you going to listen to this? Dude, we're not...
You can laugh.
Wait, I'll go on mute. I'll go on mute. Savage, you got it, bro.
The truth is the truth. Go ahead. That's a fact.
So right here. Yeah. So when did the Irish immigrants live in America?
Irish immigrants were here since the 1600s slavery, bro. What are you talking about?
It is estimated that as many as 4.5 million Irish arrived in America between 1820 and 1930. Between 1820 and 1860. The majority of the Irish that immigrated here were in the 1800s and in the 1930s.
That's not the question you asked. Hang on. You said, where did Irish live? All over. You have not disproven that fact. You're
dude, you didn't even answer the question.
Hey, I did answer the question. They lived all over. That's a fact.
Listen. When the Irish immigrants lived, where did the Irish immigrants live in America? They lived off the land in their home country. The immigrants did not have the skills needed for large-scale farming in America West. Instead, they settled in Boston, New York, and other cities on the East Coast. They lived in cities.
So you're saying, hang on. So you're saying the Irish were not slave owners and did not live among slaves in the 16 to 1700s? Are you saying
you're conflating? You're conflating.
No. I asked you. You're conflating right now. No. Answer the question. Are you saying that the Irish that did not live in the South, were not slave owners, and did not live among slaves as indentured servants? Are you saying that?
A majority of the Irish.
No. I asked you a specific question. You're not answering.
No, you asked me.
I asked you the specific.
The Hotep shit is heavy, bro.
No, it's not Hotep. It's a fact. Irish lived in the South as slave owners and as indentured servants. Anyone knows that. Any historian would tell you, absolutely, that's a fact.
But that's not even what we're talking about. Like the question was,
where did the Irish live? I just told you. That's a fact. Don't change the goalposts. That's what you're doing. He's asking a different question. I answered the original question. He says, where did the Irish live? They lived throughout the South and the North.
Black skin. You see, this is the problem I have.
No, you didn't.
Listen, can you listen? Do you know how to listen? You know how to listen? No, let me tell you how you did not answer the question. You see, everything just flew by your head right now because you were focused on all over. First of all, the whole reason why you were asked where the Irish lived was not to say that they lived all over. You were saying that white people predominantly lived in the suburbs.
No, that is not the question. Hey, no. I'm not going to let you get away with that. He asked me, where did the Irish live?
Please finish what I'm saying?
No,
please finish my sentence?
No, because you're changing the question.
You see how they do this? They don't let you finish your sentence because you're about to get them.
No, because he asked me the question, where did the Irish and Italians live? I answered it.
Oh my God. Can I please finish what I am saying? No, can I finish what I'm saying? I was talking. You can't be talking over me all the time. Let me finish what I am saying. Let me finish what I am saying.
Finish what you're saying, but you're asking
what I am saying.
Go ahead.
Let me finish what I am saying.
You're asking.
I am recapping. Let me finish what I am saying. Thank you. Again, before he asked you about where the Irish lived. You had stated that most black people live in the ghettos and white people predominantly live in the suburbs. And because of that, he asked you, when the Irish came to this country, where did they live? The point was that they lived in ghettos in the inner cities as well, just like black people today. But you were so caught up with saying they lived all over, and then you started talking about they were slave owners.
Hey, you know what? You totally missed the question. The question was, once again, where did the Irish and Italians live? You just changed the question, Smooth. You just changed the fucking question. That's what you just did.
I just changed the question.
No, you did. Because
why don't you just rewind? Why don't you just rewind the stream?
I think what happened was you all were looking for more a detailed answer, and that's what I think that's what he was saying all over. But you all were asking more detail, and so you were giving more detail.
The problem is that Savage was trying to get to a point by asking that question. It was leading up to somewhere. But obviously, because black skin is caught up with all over, it can't get nowhere.
No. I answered the question. He said, once again, anybody can rewind this chat. Rewind this show. He said, where did the Italians and Irish live? They lived all over. You have not disproven me. Matter of fact, you've proven what I said. They lived all over.
So what is all over?
I just said throughout the South, they lived amongst the slaves in the cities. They lived amongst slaves in plantations. They lived amongst themselves in farmlands. They lived all over, literally. If you look at who settled the Ohio and places like that, you're talking about the Irish, the Italians. If you talk about the North, you're talking about the Irish and Italians in Philadelphia, Boston, New York City. They literally lived all over, just like I said. So you're just proving my point. That's it.
Oh my
You're just
God.
proving my point.
I think you need to do some more reading.
Bro, you have not disproven anything. I study American history, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And yet you still, and the first thing you say is all over. When we know for a fact that when the immigrants just came to America, the main places they lived in was all over the Northeast. New York, Boston. I mean, like, oh, no. Savage, you got it, man. I would be on mute. Let me go on mute. It's all right, Black Steve.
So you're
Fight
saying,
for power.
so you're saying no Irish lived in the South throughout the 1600s and 1700s.
No, that is not what I'm saying. No, that is not what I'm saying.
Oh, so you agree with me?
You see that? That's exactly not what I said.
You agree with me then? You agree that the Irish lived all over?
I said the majority. I said predominantly. Everybody knows that majority of them lived in the Northeast.
Oh, okay. Then answer my question. So you agree with me that the Irish? What's all that feedback?
Probably me laughing.
Hey, so you agree that the Irish lived all over America? Am I correct? Just answer that question. Forget about predominantly. You're saying the Irish did live all over, as I said, right?
Yes, they lived all over.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay.
Next question.
Yes, they lived all over.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Next question.
You get an A. Savage, you got your Savage. Jump in. I'm waiting on you to jump in, Savage.
No. Yeah, but Savage, America is extremely racist country. And it's always been that way, from slavery to Jim Crow, mass incarceration. America is an extremely racist country today, and you have white privilege. What is all that feedback? It's not laughing. It's something. You hear all that feedback?
Yeah, somebody asked to mute. I heard it when Savage, when you were talking with the lady. I heard it a lot as well. I think somebody's got YouTube in the background or something.
Well, I don't have my YouTube going on. Y'all still hearing it?
Okay, it's better now.
Yeah, it's better now.
It's gone. Heater I keep in front of me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Savage.
Right,
so America's a racist country, bro. But go ahead.
Okay, so racist towards who?
Of course, blacks. Slavery, Jim Crow. Absolutely. You can't deny that. What's changed, bro?
So Jim Crow is the whole country?
Jim Crow, slavery. And if you want to include the whole country, throw in redlining and racial covenants. Now we're talking about literally all America. Jim Crow in combination with redlining, racial covenants, we are literally talking about all of America. Literally.
So, all right. So, fun fact. Redlining was predominantly in the South with Democratic policy, for one. Jim Crow was a Democratic policy in the South. Also, when the immigrants, when Irish and the Italians came in mass, they came to the Northeast and they lived in ghettos.
Hey, hang on. Let me stop you. Let me interrupt you. You're wrong about. No, hang on. You said redlining was in the South. That's a lie. I live in New York. Every city in the North was redline and racial covenants. Literally, if you go in the West, the same thing. So you're absolutely wrong by saying that the North was not redline. Yes, it is. Every major city, Buffalo, Philly, Baltimore, New York City, Boston, Providence, Rhode Island, you name them. They're all, matter of fact, you can go online and look at each city and they have these websites where it shows like, yeah, these cities were redlined, every single one. And they had racial covenants. Racial covenants was when white people bought a home, they had to sign a document, legal document, saying that they could not sell to black people, period. And that racial covenants was all through America, from California to the Midwest, to the East Coast, to the South. Racial covenants, Red Crow, Jim Crow. You got all America racism. Now continue.
Hold on a second. Go ahead with your point, because I'm actually looking into that.
Yeah, my point is that you said, well, what about, you said shadow slave, what about Jim Crow? Was all of America racist during Jim Crow? Yes. Matter of fact, Martin Luther King Jr. found that out. When he came to Chicago to protest, he thought that he was going to be met by a bunch of white liberals that was on his side. And I watched a documentary last year when he said he was shocked that the whites in Chicago were more racist than the whites in the South. He said when he protested in the South, you might get a few hundred of racist whites. When he went to Chicago, he said 10,000 racist whites showed up. That shocked him. He said it taught him a lesson. He had to rethink his thinking about white people being racist. It shocked him. He couldn't believe it. So I got a question for you.
So why would he think that white liberals would be there to help him?
Oh, because he said it. He said these white liberals in the North were saying to Connor, whatever that guy that was using whips and fire hoses when they protested in the South, the whites in the North said, hey, man, that's wrong. You can't be fire hosing and whipping and sicking dogs on these black people. That's wrong. And they were against that. But Martin Luther King Jr. said he found out that, yeah, they were just against the abuse of blacks, but not against blacks being degraded as far as being segregated. So yeah, he found something new about whites when he came to the North, and he learned a good lesson. He said, this is his words.
So from liberals, you're saying?
Yeah, from liberals, because he knew the other ones were racist, but he thought he had the liberals in his back pockets. He thought he had the white liberals. So you can watch the documentary about that. Martin Luther King Jr.
I got a question for you. What political party did Martin Luther King belong to?
Oh, he's a Republican. Absolutely.
Okay. So
most blacks were up until a certain point.
Yeah. So
Abraham Lincoln, Republican. So
yeah, if he was a Republican, then why would he be surprised about Democrats in the North if they were?
He didn't say Democrats. He said liberals. He said liberals. He didn't say Democrats.
They were on the left. The liberals were on the left at that time.
He said liberals. He didn't say anything about Republican or Democrat. He said liberals. He said he thought the liberals were not racist, and he learned a good lesson when they had a damn near riot in Chicago, and the police said he had to leave for his own safety when 10,000 whites showed up against him. You can look it up, YouTube it. So yeah, he said liberals. He didn't say Republican and Democrat. He said liberals. So yeah, America. Hey, check this out, Savage. Abraham Lincoln. What people miss all the time, because I'm a student of American history, being African American, ADOS, FBA, right? Abraham Lincoln said it. He goes, "This is America is made for white people. It wasn't made for black people." This is Abraham Lincoln. He understood that this is a white man's country. They just brought us blacks in to be the foundation to build America upon. But that's why Abraham Lincoln was trying to have blacks deported to Africa or Haiti or Honduras. See, I know my history. I study history. I love it. It's a pastime of mine, American history, being that America was founded on my people, ADOS, Foundational Black Americas. But yeah, Abraham Lincoln literally said America was made for white people, not black people, white people. And that's why he was trying to get blacks to self-deport. The only group that's ever been asked in America to self-deport, black people. And blacks, for the most part, said, fuck you. Of course, a few went to Liberia, but 99% was like, screw yourself, Abraham Lincoln. This country is built on our backs. This country is just as much as ours as is yours. And if you think about it, country music, rock, jazz, pop, disco, rap, hip hop, all created by black Americans, all of it. Every major American music, America's music basically is built off black Americans. Matter of fact, everything in America literally comes from blacks. The Constitution, slave owner, Bill of Rights, slave owner, Declaration of Independence, slave owner, the flag, slave owner, the national anthem, slave owner, Articles of Confederation, slave owners. The original convention that came together for American Revolution, all 13 colonies, they were represented, slave owners. You name it. Everything in America was built upon us blacks.
You do realize the Founding Fathers wanted to ratify the Constitution and not allow slavery, correct?
No, they said it. Their words said it. Absolutely. George Washington, Madison, Thomas Jefferson, they all said, "Oh, this slavery is awful. Oh my God, we got rid of it." But in actuality, their actions said no. Their words said yes. This sucks.
Do you know? No. Do you know why? Do you know why the Constitution didn't get ratified? Correct, because of slavery. Do you know what happened?
Say what? Say that again, brother.
They wanted to make slavery illegal in America. Do you know why that didn't happen?
Why?
Because they couldn't get all 13 colonies to sign it.
Yeah, you're talking about Georgia and South Carolina.
Yeah, there were two.
So yeah,
yes,
Georgia and South Carolina. But you got to remember, experts are now saying that was an excuse because Georgia and South Carolina were two of the smallest colonies. And they said if the other 11 colonies would have just said, okay, screw you, you're on your own. We're going to stick to 11 then. And you two, Georgia and South Carolina, were the two that was holding out. If the experts say now, if the 11 colonies would have said, okay, we'll go with ourselves and you two are on your own, that they would have gave in and said, okay, because they couldn't, there was too small to stand alone and England would overtook them. And so now experts and the historians, I'm talking about PhD scholars, saying that actually they could have did it without Georgia and South Carolina. They could have did it. They just didn't.
That wasn't the reason that they wanted a united front, though. That was the point. They wanted a united front with the king.
Yeah, exactly. But experts
and
now
they couldn't get it.
No. Experts now said that they could have did it with the 11. They could have said, screw you, Georgia and South Carolina, and just stuck with the 11. That would have been enough because they said Georgia and South Carolina were too small. Like they were nothing. And they say, experts say now that they would have folded and said, okay, we'll agree with you and we'll come in because they couldn't stand on their own. So that's what experts say now. Harvard, Yale, Princeton. So no, like I said, America is extremely racist, and America was built up
about accredited white universities now. I noticed how you had to throw out Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Why you ain't naming no HBCUs?
I don't need to because you got to remember Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, Columbia, UPenn, all of them were built upon black slaves. Not only built, but built by and on the backs of black slaves.
So you're saying white people had nothing. So you're saying white people had nothing before they got slaves to build shit for them. This is your logic.
Did I say nothing? I said everything major in America.
Everything that you've been exactly. So you're saying these people were living like shit before they decided to get slaves. The same people that were smart enough to have ships to go get slaves didn't build shit prior to niggas coming over here. They didn't have blueprints. They didn't know how to do any of this shit. Yet Africa didn't look like America.
Okay, you made a great point. You just said, were they eating shit, right? That's a great point.
No, I said they were living like shit.
No, but that's okay. That's okay because if
so they lived like shit at home, but they came over here and built shit that they couldn't build at home. This makes no sense. They couldn't read or write. Hold up, they couldn't read or write, but all of a sudden they knew how to build roads and skyscrapers. Sir, they were the fucking workforce.
Let me know.
They didn't buy anything.
They
were the workforce. Let me know. They didn't plant any crops. The crops were already there. They simply tilled to them. They didn't build the fucking plantations that the plantation brought them to. The plantation owner brought them to. They were already there, sir. You're giving them too much credit.
Okay. Are you done now?
I guess, but I mean, shit. You've been talking the whole show. Can somebody else get something in?
Okay, I'm answering your question right now. You said what was here, right? Anyone can Google the starving time, 1607 and 1610 in Virginia, Jamestown, Virginia. Google it, the starving time. White people, you talk about shit. White people were literally eating their own shit, eating their own leather shoes and jackets.
That happened in Africa as well, sir.
95% of the immigrants that came over to the Virginia colony died within the first 3 years. Literally. They were eating their own shit. The only thing that made them survive was in 1610, a ship came from England to bring supplies.
What does it have to do with them building stuff?
No, because you just said no. Because you said, was they eating their shit? Yes, they were eating their shit. So what were they
doing in Africa during that time?
The white man was eating their shit in Virginia colony.
Okay, I'll give you that. White men were eating shit in the. I'll give you that.
Google it.
So what were the slaves doing in Africa during that time?
Easy. The slaves were not slaves. We were free people in the inner belly of Africa, living our lives, raising our kids, working. We were kidnapped.
Africans had no slaves, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, where we came from,
none of the kings and
slaves.
queens, none of the kings and queens over there were made slaves here, sir. None of the royal people or people with class and money and power became slaves over here, sir.
You asked me a question. What were we doing? We were in Africa, in the inner belly of Africa,
and raising our kids, living our lives. I'm telling you that's false.
No, what you're saying, you see, you don't know history. You got to remember that there was no
translation. You don't know history either. Hang on. You're ignoring all the fucked up shit black people did.
No. Hang
on white people.
There were.
I'm not surprised because your name is Black something Black.
Understand?
Yo, fellas, y'all chill one at a time, fellas. Come on now.
There was no transatlantic slave trade for blacks to be kidnapped to go to the transatlantic slave trade. There was only the Arab slave trade on the other side of Africa. There was no translated slave trade.
Kidnapped. They were traded. And white slaves, and then they learned.
Blacks can have a question for you after you make your point.
Well, hang on. The only reason we blacks in America were kidnapped and also in the Caribbean and South America was because the white man came, right? The white man, the Portuguese, right, started kidnapping blacks on the coast, right? But they couldn't go further because of diseases. White man was too weak. So what they did was made an agreement with tribal kingdoms and saying, hey, if you go in the inner bellies of Africa and kidnap these people and bring them to you, we'll do trades and all that other shit. That's how the transatlantic.
So black people.
No, hang on. Let me finish. That's how the transatlantic slave started. The white man.
You said all of that to say black people were complicit. You said they went to tribes and said, hey, if you kidnap these black people for you, we'll make deals with you.
Exactly. That's how it was.
So black people were involved. They had fucking slaves. They had
absolutely. Absolutely, they were involved. Hell yeah!
So why did you just give us a 10-minute dissertation of some shit that I already said? Go ahead, other guys.
But the fact is that the white man alone started the transatlantic slave trade. But it wasn't black people. White people alone did it, and then they got the blacks to join them. But the white man alone started the transatlantic slave trade. Like you said earlier, the white man built ships. There was no blacks in Africa building ships and transporting slaves to America. No, the white man did that shit on his own and went to the coast of Africa. And then
Egyptians didn't have any type of.
So blacks, do you know the story of Mansa Musa?
Hang on, that's the other side. That's the other. I agree. That's the Arab slave trade to the Chinese, to the East-West.
Ask him again. He ignored it.
Mansa Musa. Do you know about Mansa Musa?
Yeah, the richest black man. I mean, the richest person ever lived in history.
Do you know about his story of coming to the Americas?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he came to the Americas with a voyage. That's a lot of ships.
Is it documented?
Because he was traveling around the world, just sharing around gold and all of that stuff, which was one of the reasons why the Europeans knew that there was so much natural resources in Africa.
Brother, is that documented?
But again, he traveled with a voyage.
No. I asked you a question. Is that documented that he came to America? Because I've never seen it.
Can he finish his story, though? And then you ask that question?
Yeah, I've never seen it, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, but he traveled with a voyage, which implies that there were ships already built.
I didn't say there wasn't no
ships building them.
No. I said that blacks were not building ships and transporting slaves to America. That's a fact. You have not refuted me. And Mansa Musa lived at 1200. That's 800 years ago. So that couldn't have been blacks transporting slaves, right? So you just agree with me. You back my point, not you. You just defeated your own point. Next question, please.
Yo, that's
so my thing is this. So you were saying all of that. So basically, white people came up with this plan. They came over to Africa. Africans agreed to sell us, correct? But
yes.
also in Africa, we were like they were saying, we were still living like shit. We might have been on some ends good, like in America. You have
like shit.
Poor, but the thing is, still in Africa, we were treating each other like shit. So you wanted to say white people this.
No, that's not true. If you study the record books,
so black people weren't being raped over in Africa by
if you study,
apparently not, ma'am. He says black people did nothing. Like they built the pyramids without a slave force. The pharaohs didn't have any slaves. None of that shit happened. It's just
If you studied the history,
so it's fairy tale. I don't know
kidnapped.
Shit.
We were
so it's
kidnapped.
Fairy tale. I don't know shit.
You said we were kidnapped.
They had no weapons.
Are you sure it was kidnapping black skin?
Okay, then I'm gonna just mute my mic.
What's that you said?
Are you sure it was kidnapping? Because you just said that a deal was made with other blacks to.
Yeah, the blacks kidnapped us blacks in the center of Africa. Absolutely.
That wasn't a kidnap. That
was
so
white people didn't kidnap then. White people didn't do
permission to go get.
Hey, experts say.
What experts?
No,
the ones from Harvard, the racist ones from Harvard,
Yale. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can go to Stanford, MIT, no Ivy League, right? They're all going to say the same thing.
So it doesn't matter where the information came from.
Hang on. The white man.
White institutions. Hang on. The white people.
Hang on.
And that doesn't matter.
Hang on. The white man kidnapped 10 to 25% of all blacks that got transported out of the 12 million. 10 to 25% were kidnapped by white people. The others were kidnapped by other blacks.
According to white people.
Sir,
no, that right there is according to records, ship records. You can go online. You can look at the ship records that
who made the ship records?
Whose records? Exactly. Whose records?
Of course, the white people that came and bought the people and made their laws because they paid money.
That was big business. All those records.
Black skin, have you studied? You say you study American history, but have you like tried studying world history as well? Because I think if you do look into that more deeper, you will come to find out that slavery was the order of the day. You understand me? And I can tell you that, and I can tell you that.
I never said it wasn't. I never said it was. You're putting words in my mouth.
Hold on. I'm not even finished, dude. I'm not even finished. First of all, I was going to say that slavery was.
Words in my mouth.
Can I finish what I am saying?
Do not put words in my mouth. But go ahead.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I can't be putting words in your mouth, and you can't know that if I don't finish my statement.
Then finish your statement. Go ahead.
You got to stop with the Sonata Hotel.
Finish your statement. Go.
And you don't tell me when to go and when not. Don't talk when I'm talking.
Dude.
First
of all,
shut up
and go. Shut up and go. Go.
Black skin.
I'm not about to talk to no remedial as retard, yo.
I contend that the quarters on the Ivory Coast were no more than administrative buildings, sir. That's where they traded goods and services.
The white man did it, Trey Quavius. The white man did everything. He did everything.
Those were built the ships. Offices.
He built the ships. He invented the gold that they stole, put it in Africa, and then went back there and stole it too. The white man did everything.
You haven't said any. See that
it did just happen.
Notice you didn't spit any facts. All you're doing is pontificating and doing ad hominems because you're
absolutely.
Nobody likes you, Black.
Absolutely, yeah. No. We're using ad hominems and we pontificate. Yeah. That's what we're doing.
You speak facts because you don't know history. I'm gonna
absolutely. We don't know history.
Drink of water.
Absolutely, we don't know history. Yeah, they were kidnapped. Exactly.
In the slave trade.
In the slave trade,
even though he said the white people,
he just admitted that there was a deal made, but at the same time they were kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? So,
but the white people, he was blaming the white people for the kidnapping, even though all the white people did was pay the money.
They just paid the money
to go round them up.
It's not even that the niggas rounded them up. Most of these motherfuckers that were sold over, and them not calling motherfuckers, they were all freaking war captives. Because all them African nations was fighting with each other like a motherfucker. And the reason why I know that is because I am from one.
Facts, I agree. I came in saying that. I came in saying so there weren't any slaves that existed prior to.
We was warring with each other like crazy.
All right, I'm back.
So if I got the ops, if I'm holding the ops captive and stuff, and somebody's coming over and giving me money to buy them, what am I gonna be like? No, you are white and they're black, and we have unity.
Right. I don't want these motherfuckers anyway.
Exactly. My question gonna be how many of them you want? You see. Those are those dark truths that people like black skin don't want to. It's like, nah, the white man kidnapped them.
But as you said,
and then blacks kidnapped them, but the white man manipulated them and he kidnapped them.
We know it was big business back then, man. That's what worldwide slavery was big business. We can't get past that.
Of course, it was big business. Yeah, and the white man in America is at fault. 100%, absolutely.
Who cares? Nobody said they didn't.
Hey, the point is important.
It happened.
The
point
point
is,
is
slavery going on in Africa now. You ain't over there talking about it.
The point is, America is
slavery
racist.
in America was slavery in North America the worst form of slavery ever?
Oh yes, absolutely the worst.
Okay, yeah, you an
ever.
idiot.
Ever.
You an idiot.
Ever.
If you say yes
you
to
haven't
that question,
point. All you're doing is ad hominem tax. You haven't stated one
Who
fact.
cares if it's ad hominem?
You just learned what ad hominem is in the dictionary, and now you're using it so much.
That's all you're doing. Just ad hominem. That's all you're doing.
Sir.
You see, y'all know how he loves the word ad hominem?
Because
when you debate, you need to use a word like ad hominem.
See, all you're doing is ranting because you have no facts. You've been defeated.
Answer the question.
That's what people do who can't debate, been defeated.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned what the Socratic method is as well. That's why you use it as much too.
Any debater knows that.
Shit.
I have reduced you to name calling like a child you are. You're a child under me.
Yeah, I'm a child.
That's all you're doing is ranting.
You know what this child knows as well? This child knows. You know what this child knows, Black Skin? This child also knows that slavery in North America wasn't the worst form of slavery. You can't even talk about that without mentioning Brazil. That's what this child knows. But we're going to go with what you said. We're going to say that, yes, it was the worst. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Okay, so
let me stop the ad hominem.
All you're doing is ranting. Keep ranting. Go ahead. But go ahead, young lady. Go ahead.
Let the lady speak.
The lady speaking.
So we're all, in our agreements on some disagreements when it comes to race and slavery and everything. Let's go back to current day. History is nothing we can do about that. We got the bullshit now that we're dealing with. So to the young man who was saying about the history and everything, how do we resolve, all these problems? What is your solution on how we fix the bullshit we have going on now?
Oh, that's easy. It's called reparations for slavery and Jim Crow. That's 350 years.
Just like a nigga.
Hang on.
Just like a nigga that wants something.
No. Let me speak. There has never been a group of people in history that's recordable history that has been enslaved.
Ass to work. That is a reparation.
You tell me
that not to cut you off what you're doing. Was a reparation. Because we don't want to hear this pro-black colors.
Because you've been defeated. I'm going to answer the question. Reparations for 250 years of chattel slavery and 100 years of Jim Crow. That's 350 years.
What about those of us who say? You say reparations, so a few questions on that.
Massive.
Okay. However, not all blacks believe that we all stem from Africa. So are you going to give all black people money?
Oh, no. It's called, if you notice when I first came on, I called myself ADOS. FBA.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a descendant of a slave, sir. You can have that loser history. You can have that loser history, sir.
It's only from blacks that have ancestry in American chattel slavery through Jim Crow that would get the reparations. Not any
other
black
Brazilian slaves. What about Brazilian slaves?
I just said America. America. United States of America.
We thrived through Jim Crow. Stop throwing that in there.
But the majority of the slaves that came from Africa of black skin went to Brazil.
You're both speaking at one time, so I can't.
Lady, you go first.
Money solve the problem, and how do you find out who's from slave ancestors?
Easy. There's census taken at the end of slavery and 20 years.
Did you say easy?
No, hang on.
You said easy?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't trust the white man's census.
1870, they did census, and they also did census just before the Civil War began. So one can trace their ancestry literally through.
So it's going to be easy to give all these reparations, but it wasn't even easy for them to give out $600.
Let me tell you something. When America wants to do something, it does something. Check this out. America.
And clearly reparations ain't one of them that they want to do.
Exactly. That's
so stop bringing that up as a solution.
You asked me for a solution.
Right. So,
hey,
you know a solution. That's not what they want to do.
No.
Your main solution.
No, hang on. You asked me, did I have a solution?
You know that's a dumbass solution though, because you know it won't happen. You just said, I know they won't give us reparations, so that shouldn't even be on the table.
No, I take that back. No.
They say reparations because they know it's not attainable. Like
no, it is.
Go ahead. Tell me how you go about it.
Oh, easy.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Black Skin, after you go, let Fiona speak because she hasn't spoke yet, I don't believe.
Oh, snap. Right. Yeah. Let me mute up.
This is why I do believe reparations will happen. Because of this. During slavery, right? Black slaves were worth more than all the banks, railroads, and manufacturing companies put together in America, right? In 1860, there was no asset worth more than black slaves in America. None. And I challenge each and every one of you to refute me. Because every historian says for a fact there was no single asset that was worth more than black slaves in the South, right? And yet still, those black slaves being worth that monumental amount got
tobacco crop was worth more.
So against all odds, those slaves got free. No one thought in 1860 that slaves would be free. So just because today no one thinks we get reparation doesn't mean we're going to get it, because we've been down that road before and we got our freedom, and we'll get those reparations one way or another.
So go ahead. Instead of educating our people, we feel like throwing money at them is the solution.
Hang on. What's that?
Instead of educating ourselves, throwing money is the solution.
Oh, easy. What did the white man take from blacks for 250 years? No. If you ask me a question, no, the white man stole black bodies for 250 years in America through chattel slavery and then Jim Crow. That is not only our lives, but it's also money that was stolen. Literally, experts say
no money was stolen from you, sir. You don't deserve any reparations.
Hang on. The experts say if you calculated the work the black slaves did for free, that it would be between $50 trillion and $100 trillion stolen from blacks.
What expert?
So I just told you.
Who's going to pay the reparations? Who's going to pay it?
Who's going to pay it? That's easy. The same place that came the money from stimulus comes from the government. Just print it. Just like this.
No. So you're saying the white man's going to pay the reparations?
The government, all the government has to do is print it. Just like the stimulus. The government doesn't ask you about the stimulus plan. Like, hey, let's take a poll and vote on should we give a stimulus. No, the government decides on its own within its own unit and say, okay, we're going to give 1.9 trillion, Biden says. Before that, 1 trillion. In March, it was like 2.1 billion. What trillion?
Fiona, what did you have to say?
So no, the people doesn't matter. What matters is the people and the government. They make the decision, and if they say we get reparations, we get it. Doesn't matter what white.
We got you, bro. Let Fiona go.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what does this have to do with the question, anyway?
None of it does. Great question. He's deflecting.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I have another question. If nobody opposes, let me read.
Savage, get in here, man. You seen all these black folks arguing amongst each other. You just sitting back there.
How do we move
like
forward
the white devil you are, watching us, laughing in the background with your goatee?
It's not an argument. This is a teaching.
You're wearing red and black. That's symbolic of the devil. Why you sitting back there, Savage?
You Mason. The tattoos on your face.
Look, my bad, Savage. We didn't mean to take over. Come on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So how do we move forward without government help, without government assistance, without depending on white people and blaming white people?
Well, okay, you say blame white people. Who shadow enslaved us in Jim Crow for 350 years?
Blaming white people and with
answer this question, lady. Who shadow enslaved? Who made 100% of the laws for shadow slave to exist in America for 250 years and 100 years of Jim Crow? Who made 100%? I'm asking a lady.
Americans.
I'm asking a lady. Are you a lady?
Americans.
Okay, you're a lady. Okay, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm talking to the other man. Ma'am, hey, ma'am,
that shit doesn't bother
ma'am,
Americans, lady, and the black people that were in Congress.
Clay, answer him.
Lady, ma'am, I'm talking to the other ma'am, not you, lady, the other lady. Go ahead.
but didn't he just talk shit about you, Smooth,
lady,
for calling names?
Lady,
yeah, of course.
Lady,
that's how they do, bro. They gotta have a fight when they're cornered with logic.
Where's that?
I was like this guy. I was just like, it's like I'm looking at a past version of myself right now when I'm listening to
excuse me.
Talk.
I'm asking that one lady because you answered the question. No. She needs to hear. She asked the question. I answered it. I asked her a question. Who made 100% of all the chattel slavery laws and Jim Crow laws for 350 years? You say, well, why blame the white man? I asked you the question. I answered. For 350 years, who made literally every single one without fail?
Americans.
No. The lady. Where's the? Unless you're the lady.
Why does it matter who you get?
White Americans did it. Black skin. Go ahead.
No. Who's the lady? Answer.
Why does it matter who you get the answer from?
No.
I was not
talking
present in that era.
I asked you. So you don't know who made 100% of the laws for 350 years? Let me tell you, it was the white man.
Were you there?
He's at fault. The white man.
So black skin. Is it safe to say that the white man is the one that owes reparations in a nutshell?
Oh, absolutely. They.
What about the black people that own slaves?
So if you say absolutely to that question, if you say absolutely,
I want to answer her again. Yeah, blaming white people, but you just Who made 350 years of chattel slave and Jim Crow law?
Black people own slaves in America.
No. I'm asking her.
I was just going to say that, Trey. You took it from me, man.
Hang on.
Black people own slaves in America.
She asked the question. How many who made 100% of the laws?
The black people that own
do the black families that own slaves owe reparations as well? That's what I wanted to know.
Hang on. You won't answer the question because you
answered it.
Now,
I'm not answering because I don't like talking over people.
No. Okay, everyone be quiet. Let her answer it.
The black people that own slaves
everyone be quiet.
America.
No, everyone be quiet. Let her answer. She said she doesn't want anybody to talk. Go ahead. Everyone's quiet. Go ahead. Answer.
So I just try to be respectful and I just let you all talk.
No. Answer the question.
As we all assume white people.
Answer the question.
You're blaming, I'm answering. So let me. As we just answered, white people, which means you're also blaming white people. So my question was, how do we move forward without blaming them and without their help?
Reparations.
What about the black people?
Reparations.
But what about the black people that own slaves in America?
People?
What was that you said?
What about the black people that own slaves, black skin? What we do about them? What do we do about them?
The lady said something. Go ahead, say it again.
Oh, okay.
You said reparations, but that comes from white people. But my thing is, how do we move forward without their help? Without their help.
What do you mean without their help?
We're not going to get reparations. So how do we help each other?
No. You can never say never. They said that about slavery. They said the South said slavery would never end.
But still, the question is,
just have hope.
End it. So you can't
Clay,
say
the answer is hope, okay? You just need the hope.
Thank you. Hope and pray.
Just like you did with Obama. Just hope.
Amen.
1860.
Wait, Obama, that shit failed.
1860, everyone said slavery would never end.
But she clearly asked you, how do we move forward without their help? And you keep saying,
why do you think slavery ended, black skin?
It's not possible.
I want to know why you think slavery ended.
Shadow slavery ended. Shadow slavery ended. You know what
shadow slavery?
Yes. Why did it end? Don't tell me what it is. Why did it end?
Hey, are you from Brazil?
Yo, fam.
No, I asked you a question.
Why did chattel slavery end, please?
Hang on. Are you from Brazil?
No, I'm not. I'm from Nigeria.
Oh, you're the motherfuckers that sold us, bastard. Yeah, that's why Nigeria is a poverty capital of the world. The world, motherfucker.
Poverty capital of the
Nigeria
world.
Is fucked up.
Nigerians are.
So what about
Ghana? You in America? Fuck you, Nigerian. You fucking sold us, man. Nigeria's a poverty capital of the world.
Nigerians are shitting on American blacks.
China is your daddy.
Nigerians in America.
China is your daddy. You Nigerians come to America to beg off our civil rights, to live off our work, what we built, because your country is shit. That's why you're talking shit, motherfucker.
But that's fine.
Yeah,
sir,
right. Look it up. Google, everybody. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world.
So this is the
China
thing.
is your daddy.
You name
and you come in and beg us. You come on our dicks. You Nigerian motherfucker. Damn it.
And they still
You
come
ain't
over
All
shit.
right,
here.
You should
Yvette
be
Carnell.
kissing our ass. No,
All
you
right, Yvette
Nigerians should be
Carnell.
kissing our ass. You should be kissing our
It's
ass.
all right, Yvette
Fuck
Carnell.
you.
Why did
Fuck
chattel
you.
slavery end?
Fuck you in the country you came from, you beggar. You're a beggar. That's why you're in America, because you couldn't make it in your own fucking country. Because it's a shithole like our President Trump.
Hey, but
said.
everybody
You
check this
fucking
out, though.
beggar.
Everybody check this
You
out. He
come
said
to
I
our
came from
country,
Nigeria,
you suck
right?
up our civil
But guess
rights,
what?
you suck up
Savage,
our
I'm an
family
Austrian
values. All
national.
you do is
My
suck.
nationality
That's
is
all you do,
Austrian.
suck our dicks. That's all
I
you do,
actually
Nigerians.
grew up in
He
fucking
loves
Central
fucking
Europe,
America
country.
now.
and I
Fuck
He's all
moved
on
to
America
America
Fuck
from
you.
Europe.
And the ship you came on, fuck you. You
I
He
actually
just hated
moved here from
America the
Europe.
whole
You
stream.
shithole. Trump, my President Trump said your country is a shithole. He's absolutely fucking right. You fucking Nigerian beggar.
So why
You
does he
come
have
on our
investments
affirmative
there?
action. You come in on our civil rights. You come and get our affirmative action, and then you talk shit about the same people you sold from a shithole country. Google Nigeria. Fucking garbage and shit everywhere. China is your fucking daddy. Fuck you, dude.
Savage, could you Google some images of Nigeria, please, and show us
Google
how
the city.
how shit it is?
Who built that shit? China. You ain't doing
Yeah.
Hey, Google it. It says
China built
Nigeria
everything in
is,
Nigeria.
No.
Go ahead,
Look
pull
at
up
it. It
the
says Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. Google
the
that
world.
shit right now, motherfucker. You fucking
Okay.
beggar. The only thing you should
Savage.
be doing is kissing my fucking feet.
Savage, remember what you and I were talking about
That's
earlier?
the only thing you should be
just
doing is
proved my
kissing my
point.
feet. That's
He's
all you
literally
should be
proving my
doing.
point.
Kissing my feet. ADOS FBA. You owe us, motherfucker.
Oh wow, Tariq, Yvette, and Tone Talks. I got it
That's
now.
facts. You owe us.
Yeah, I got it now.
You
I got it
Nigerian.
now.
You
But
Nigerian.
who do you belong to? Because you know they're
vulture?
beefing with each other
Hey,
too,
you,
right?
You vulture. You that's what you are. No, you Nigerians are vultures. You should be kissing our feet. You come here on our civil rights. You come here on our work, our establishment, not yours. You ran from your country
Let's
because
go
you couldn't cut it up.
Browns.
You
Let's
ran
go
from
Hey,
Browns.
Blackskin,
Baker
do you
Mayfield,
have
bring it
that
home.
same
look
smoke
at
for
that
the
photo right there. Look
Hispanics
at that
too?
photo. Look at that photo.
Do you
show
have
the
that
rest.
same smoke for the Hispanics too?
Show the rest. Show the rest.
Wait, do you have that same smoke for the Asians too?
Look at that shit. You got Boko Haram fucking taking whole schoolgirls and kidnapping them, taking them into the jungle.
You saw that image flow over his head? He didn't mention that. He didn't see that image, huh?
Man, you should be kissing our feet, dude. You got shit to say.
Wait, did you tell the Hispanics to kiss your feet too?
No, I'm talking to you, Nigeria, because no Hispanic soldiers. You did. Your people did. And now you're the poverty capital of the world. Hey, Red Savage, Google poverty capital of the world, Nigeria. It's going to pop up. Google China taking over Nigeria. It's going to pop up, dude. I know about you, bro.
Whack, and what about America? Doesn't America owe trillions of dollars to China?
Why is Google your source for everything?
Who owns America's debt right now?
I'll be back in a minute.
Wait, who owns America's debt, Blackskin?
No, Blackskin jumped out for a minute. Thank God. That nigga just was on repeat for 7 minutes in a row.
Man, that nigga
clearly
is
a product
he is
of a
brain washed.
No, but what's funny is he was talking all that shit about America. Then he found out you were Nigerian, and he got all on America's dick. He got all on America's dick. And then he just said, fuck being pro-black. I'm just going to trash you because you're black and you're from another country. But then he trying to tell us back then it was peaceful as fuck.
Yeah. He said Africa was the white man is the bad guy, and he kidnapped them from Africa, and he kidnapped them, and now he's mad at me because I sold them. You know what I'm saying? So who's the bad guy? Is the white man the bad guy? Or is the African the bad guy? Who's the bad guy?
And he kept
sold us, motherfucker.
He kept ignoring the black slave owners in America. That just never got into.
You see what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so are they going to pay reparations too? Like, what about the Native Americans?
Oh yeah, I'm back. Yeah, the Native Americans, they owe us reparations too, right? Yeah, absolutely.
What about the black families that own slaves?
I feel like if you sold my parents, you sold my ancestors, for me to be over here, I might owe you something because with the way Africa's set up, I don't think I want to be over there. Why? I love being a fucking America.
Clay, I wouldn't say that. If you listen to people like brown skin, then you would definitely not want to be there. If you knew what was going on there right now as we speak,
I know.
You definitely would want to be there. You definitely would want to be there, and you want to invest too. Trust me.
Oh, that I would want to be there.
Oh hell yeah! Because right now the Chinese is snatching that shit right up under your eyes, and I've actually been advocating and been telling a lot of African American brothers, people that are skilled in the trades and everything, y'all need to go to the motherland and get your connections up and start building over there, because it's not as many restrictions and it's not as expensive.
Hey, Savage, put up Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world. Put it up. You were looking on the computer. Put it up. You just Google Nigeria, poverty capital of the world. Put it up.
I want to point out, he said Native Americans owe reparations. He said white people owe reparations. But he refuses to answer for the black people that owned slaves over here.
Oh, no, that's an easy one, because the black people that own slaves, if you study them, the vast majority of them were mulattoes, quadroons, and octoroons. So basically, they were white people, bro. They were white people. You didn't see black people like me, unambiguous black people owning slaves. No, these people had white fathers. Their white fathers were slave owners and passed it on to their sons and daughters, who were mulattoes, quadroons, and octoroons, which is basically a white person. So no, there was no black people like me running around owning slaves. No.
And what year are you starting your?
So mulattoes are white. So if a mulatto has a white father, there. So wait, Savage, your son is white. Savage, your son is white. Your son is a descendant of a slave owner.
My family wasn't slave owners.
So next question. Let's move on. Next question.
Yeah.
You just made assumptions, though, sir. You just said that everybody that owned slaves that was black was mixed, and that's an assumption. You have no proof of that.
Yes, I've studied. You can look at the records. You're wrong. No, you're wrong again. No, you're wrong again. We have records of slave owners and their fathers.
Said Google. We said Google. Look at the screen. Look at the fucking screen. Does that look like a mulatto to you?
Who? I don't know who's talking, brother.
Look at the fucking screen.
Now you can't see. Now you don't know what's happening. Look at the screen.
Yeah, and I see a slave. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's
not a slave. Read it. You see, read, nigga. Read.
No. See, what you don't understand, first of all, that's not his fucking picture, you dumbass. That's just somebody they pulled and said Anthony Johnson. That's not Anthony Johnson. Second of all,
we can say that about all the slave pictures.
No.
By that logic, we can go back that on all the slave
not logic.
Pictures.
That's
those aren't
fact.
slaves.
That's
those aren't slaves. Those are paid actors.
And second of all, now Anthony Johnson, he went to the white man that had that man enslaved for life. The white man did it, not Anthony Johnson. The first time Anthony Johnson went to the white man, the judges, they said no, and the man went free. Anthony Johnson did. Then he went back a second time and begged the white judges, and the judges said, okay, black man, you got to be a slave for life. Anthony Johnson had no power. He was the tool. The white man made the black man a slave, not Anthony Johnson. All he did was beg the courts twice. The first time he said no, that was no. The second time he came back, they said yes. That's a fact. And check this out. In 1670, it was one black guy there was only one black guy, and that was done through the courts. See, you don't know history. You don't know.
If there was only one black guy, you can't say there weren't any.
You're talking about Anthony Johnson. We're talking about Anthony Johnson.
Black skin, where majority of the slaves here in America.
Say what?
Were the majority of the slaves brought from Africa here in America?
No, the majority of the slaves went to Brazil and the Caribbean. Everybody knows that. Only 400 to 800,000 blacks actually came to America as slaves. The vast majority, 94% went to the Caribbean and Brazil and South America. Everybody knows that.
Next question. The one drop rule.
Wait, but I asked you before about Brazil and you had no idea.
I didn't, dude. I was answering 1,000 questions at one time.
Okay, really?
Do you believe in the one drop rule?
Are you saying that there were no black, just regular black slave owners in the U.S.?
Every study that I've seen, right, there were always.
That he has seen.
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, let's look at the facts, right? In 1830, they did their only time. Listen. Listen.
So you got to pick one, but
no.
From what you study,
hang on. Listen,
somebody want the link. Let me know if somebody got to drop down.
Hang on. In 1830, they did the only study of black slave owners, right? And out of that, there were like 6,000 that owned something like 12,000 slaves. So when you look at about in 1830, was little over 2 million slaves. So the blacks own literally 0.00% of the black slaves. And you got to remember,
either way, we're saying blacks own slaves.
No, hang on.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And you got to remember,
we're done. We don't need to hear shit else. We don't need to hear shit else. Blacks own slaves.
He knows history. He knows history. Let him talk his history. He knows it.
I'm explaining history. And experts would tell you that vast majority of blacks that did own slaves, those were owning their own brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers as family members, because if they
makes it better
because you don't know history, because if you did,
you don't want to go there, Trey.
Together, we were slaves.
Hang on.
Trey, that's a whole different section right there.
Because you don't know, because
people owning slaves, sir.
They had to own.
So it wasn't black people running a business together; they were slaves.
No, check this out. They had to buy their mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters because they were slaves, right? And if they didn't buy them, the white man would buy them. So the vast majority, they were family members.
They were black because you believe in
they were family members.
They were slaves. So the mulattoes are black, sir.
No, I don't believe in the one drop rule. Hell no.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Because if the one drop rule was true, then the opposite, then there would be no blacks, because every black in America has 15 to 25%.
So do you denounce Frederick Douglass? Do you denounce Frederick Douglass?
So if we reverse it, right? If we reverse it,
denounce Harriet Tubman,
then we would be white. No, Frederick Douglass.
Denounce Frederick Douglass?
Because
he was a mulatto.
No. Frederick Douglass said he did not know who his father was. Look it up. You can Wikipedia that.
But he was a mulatto.
He said he didn't know who his father was. You can't prove that, bro. He himself said he didn't know who his father was. No, he wasn't. Nobody knows. He said he didn't know who his father was.
Do you denounce Malcolm X?
Then you can't say no, he wasn't if nobody.
Do you denounce Malcolm X?
Oh no, of course not. Malcolm X is the man.
Mulatto.
Oh, but he has a mulatto background because his mother was mulatto.
Yeah, but his father was black. That doesn't make him mulatto.
So what?
But yes, it does.
You gotta have a white parent. You gotta have a white mother and father. No, that was a mulatto, not white.
Those slave owners were still black, sir. Thank you for proving that. They had a black parent.
They had a white parent, and most of them had a white parent and a quadroon or octoroon mother.
And a quadroon and an octoroon. But you would not denounce Malcolm X, right? But I just told, but his mother was a quadroon or octoroon, whatever you saying.
You just said a mulatto. That's different. You just said a mulatto. And that's
okay. So, sir, I have a question.
Oh, so we're playing semantics now. No, you said mulatto. That's 3/4 black, and then
quadroons and octoroons are white. Quadroons and octoroons are white. Mulattoes aren't. Next question. Go ahead. The lady said something. Go ahead.
What is mulatto to you?
Oh, mulatto. That's easy. You got to have a white parent. You got to have a white parent, mother or father.
So real quick. So if one parent is biracial because they have one parent, the grandparent, is mixed. The other grandparent is black. Yeah. So they have a child. That child is what?
Say that again. You can go ahead. Say it again.
The grandparent, one parent has multiple races: white, Native American, Italian. The other parent,
that person's all white. Yeah, that's mulatto.
Okay, but the other parent, the black, the male, we're gonna say is black. They have a child together. Now, what is that child?
Well, it's gonna be mulatto because that person is white. Native Indian is basically white.
How?
Italian, Irish.
Black skin. Do you rep FBA? Do you rep FBA?
White, Native American, and Italian. So, do we ignore all of those?
Say what?
Okay, I said that one parent, the female, she comes from white, Native American, and Italian.
Yeah,
the male is black.
White. Yeah, she's white. Yeah. The baby's gonna be mulatto.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So, but she has. So we count out. So we count out the other races.
What other races? What are you talking about?
The Native American and Italian that's in her.
He spoke over
Hey, do you rep foundational Black Americans? Do you rep the FBA flag? Black skin?
Oh yeah, Tariq Nasheed has one. I don't rock it. I rock the American flag. America was built out of us, man.
No, but do you follow what Tariq is saying as far as FBA is concerned? Do you rock with that?
Oh, absolutely. I rock with that and ADOS. I rock with them both. Absolutely.
Okay, so but then you shouldn't be rocking with Tariq based on what you're saying, because his very wife is a mulatto. Her mother is white. Her father is black.
Yeah, and what's the point?
Yeah, they're not black.
Yes,
but he's talking about foundational Black Americans, but yet he's not married to a black person. He's married to a white person. Quad Jews
and octoroons are white, not mulattoes. I said quad Jews and octoroons are white. Quad Jew means that you got 25% African. Octoroon means you're like 10%.
This some shit you made up.
Quad Jews and octoroon. No, look it up. Quad Jew and octoroon.
Okay, so a child. So when the child has a black father and a white mother, what is that? Is that 50-50 or is that 25% and 85? What is that?
You said a black father and a white mother?
Yeah.
That's a mulatto. Yeah, that's a mulatto. Biracial.
So Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, they're black biracial. Yeah. Cool.
How?
How?
I'm trying to understand. I'm so confused.
So I have a quick question. So my my sixth great grandmother was half black, half Cherokee Indian. So what does that make me?
I can't. Is that your photo right there? I can't.
You were quadrioctopus.
Hang on. So are you saying everything is white?
You were quadrioctopus.
Are you
whatever you call it?
Are you saying everything is white outside of that one grandparent?
Are
you saying everything is, hang on. Are you saying everyone else is white outside of that one black grandparent? Is that what you said?
Not on that side of the family.
See, Isaac conflating?
Go. No, say it again. I didn't catch it. Go ahead.
Not on that side of my family.
No, say the whole thing so I can catch it. Go ahead.
So my sixth great grandmother on my mother's side is half black and she's half Indian, Cherokee Indian.
Yeah, and everybody else is white, is what you're saying, right?
Not on that side of the family. On my father's side of the family, they're white.
So your mother is white?
Conflict. You can hear it.
Mother is mixed.
So
based on
my mother.
Okay.
My mom looks white, but we have a lot of Indian and black generations back inside our tree. And then my dad's side of the family is white.
Okay, so if your mother looks
white,
then
you just mix. Then you would be other bullshit. It's mixed.
Hang on, if your mother's white passing, you would be mulatto then. Yeah. If your father's black and your mother's white passing, you'd be mulatto. Absolutely. That's what you'd be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just figured it out.
It's so easy.
Slavery, Jim Crow is the same thing. They'll tell you that if you got one black parent, one white parent, you're mulatto. If you got one black parent and another parent that was
wait a minute. So what is a quadru? What is a quadru again?
It's 1/4. A quadroon is someone who has 25% African and 75% European.
So
what would that be? What would that be? Would that be somebody whose grandfather is black but they're white or something?
Yeah. It would be that.
What would that be? What would that be? Would that be somebody whose grandfather is that MOT? Oh, they're white or something. Relief. I can't go on mute now. MOT, is that you?
Came in and still watching it back on YouTube.
That's a bad echo right there.
Somebody got to mute. Somebody.
He got it.
What's up, man? Tomorrow, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm trying to figure out which one of these microphones. It's wireless microphones. What's going on, man?
YouTube playback.
Not too much. But before we get into this, before I let you speak, I just want everyone to go look up a book that's called Black Slave Owners, Free Black Masters in South Carolina, 1790 to 1860. That it was written by a guy named Larry Koger, which is a black man. He is a black man that wrote this book.
I know that book.
He was mulatto. That don't count.
I actually read most of that book actually, and the biggest one of the biggest black slave owner was Ralph Ellison, and his father was white, and he might have been a quadroon too because his mother wasn't straight.
What is a quadroon?
Wait, his mother was what?
So he was Ralph Ellison was the biggest slave owner in South Carolina, right? And his father was white. His father taught him to trade. His father gave him his freedom, right? And he became the biggest black slave owner in South Carolina and one of the biggest in the South period. And he was still treated as a second-class citizen, even though he owned over 100 slaves. He was like 165 slaves. And he said that he feared that he would be enslaved by any white person. And that was the biggest slave owner.
You said they didn't exist. You said black slave owners didn't exist. Now
I never said that. I never did. No, you're lying on me. Because I said earlier in 1830 there were 6,000 black slave owners. So that would disprove you right there.
You didn't know about Brazil before either, and then later on you mentioned Brazil.
Anybody can rewatch this and say, yeah, he did say there were 6,000 black slave owners owning 12,000 slaves. And what I did say that black slaves own 0.002% of all the slaves in America, and it's half of that because half were slaves.
You started saying that after you initially said they didn't.
I never said that.
You called them mixed and everything.
Anybody can rewatch this.
Trey, we already got him. Trey, we already got him.
Like he called them mixed.
What percentage of people own slaves in America?
Well, you can't really look at America because in the North there was very little slavery after the American Revolution.
What percentage?
Okay, in the South, 30% of all families own black slaves. White families, 30% of all white families. Actually, 395,000. The record showed 395,000 white families own slaves. Hang on, what's that feedback? 395,000. I looked at the record books. 395,000 white families in the South own slaves. That's about, they say between 25 to 30% of all white families in the South own slaves. And he said if you add in their friends and cousins and stuff, you're talking about the vast majority of the South either outright own slaves or had a personal connection to slaves. So the whole South was indicted. And you got to remember,
30% is the whole South now.
No,
30%.
And you got to remember, and you got to remember the
30%.
entire. Hang on, and you got to remember the entire industrial revolution of the North ran off black slave cotton. So the North was implicated too because the entire industrial revolution ran off slave cotton.
Okay,
so everyone was implicated.
So it says for generations, historians have been almost anonymous that black slaves were owned by a surprisingly small minority of whites. But this figure mainly comes from the research of American historian Alan Nevins, 1890 to 1971, in the 1850 census of 6,184,477 white folks in the slave states. Only 347,525 were listed as owners.
Now it's 395,000. It's up another 50,000.
In 1860 census, which is the one on the eve of the Civil War, there was 393,975 slave owners in the United States.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I have a total population of 31,183,582, or 1.2.
Man, don't you hear him reading?
No, but you can't include the North.
He's reading, bro.
No,
he's just reading. Can you read?
No, hang on. You can't include the North because the slave had ended in
bro,
many parts of the North.
Say that when he's done reading.
So you can't include the North. Now continue.
You can't stop him from.
He said you can't include the North. Let him read.
Which is on the eve of the Civil War, which there was 393,975 slave owners in the United States out of a total population of 31,183,582. Or 1.6% of the population, but this is not a true picture, wrote Mackey. The figure is the population of the entire United States at the time, which were 33 states in the Union. 15 were slave states and 18 were free states. Looking just at the slave states, then there would be 393,975 slave owners in the slave states out of a population of 12,240,293. So this means that 3.22% of the population of the 15 slave states were slave owners. So 3.2% of the people in the South own slaves.
Yeah, that's not including families. That's when they make that point. They're
That's not
talking
including
about
families.
No. It's not including families. They're just talking about the person, the man or the woman who owned the slave. They're not talking about their wives or
So
husbands.
they're talking about individuals.
Yeah, individuals, not families. They're talking about individuals. When you add families, then 30% of the families in the South, own slaves. So those are heads of households that own the slave. They're not talking about wives, kids, any of that. They're just talking about the individual. So yeah,
Wives, kids. What?
How do you know?
Yo.
Yeah.
They
So
didn't just count slave owners as slave owners. Families, individuals.
Yeah. So Savage read. I agree with you. I agree with what you just read. Congratulations. It backs me.
Congratulations, Savage.
You stopped him several times to agree.
You don't have to be condescending to tell me congratulations. I was reading something at the Times. I didn't do anything but research it and was reading what it said. Like, you don't have to be condescending to me.
No, it's not condescending. What you read was true. Congratulations, brother.
What is the Yo, fam. Now I understand why that radio host star used to say, "Don't call me brother." And now I'm starting to understand what it is, yo. Fam. Yo, I can't. You got it, Savage. Go ahead. Or Trey, you go ahead, yo. Like, somebody try to make what he said make sense. Savage just read that it was 3.2% of the population that actually owned slaves. But he said that if you add more people in the families, you would get up to 30%. Do you know what jump that is? What massive jump?
It goes farther. But we have to remember that only free people own slaves and that the total population of slaves include enslaved people themselves. So we have to adjust our numbers to reflect our free people. Therefore, 339,975 slave owners were out of the free population of the 8,289,782, or 4.7%, or 4.75% of the free population in the United States being slave owners. The Confederate 11 states had 316,632 thousand slave owners out of the free population of 5,582,222. This equates to about 5.67% of the free population of the Confederacy were slave owners. That, however, does not tell us the extent of slave ownership. To better understand the extent of slave impact, we need to realize that slave owners was the one person in the family who legally owned a slave. That person was actually the patriarch. There would be a spouse, a son, and a daughter who directly benefited from the family's slave ownership and who stood to inherit enslaved people, wrote Mackey. So according to the census of 1860, 30.8% of the free family in the Confederate owned slaves. That means that every third white person in those states had a direct commitment to slavery. So
thank you. You just said what I said all along. and with that one, hey, Red Savage, I gotta get going, brother. It's been real, but you just said what I've been saying all along. You guys need to learn history. And
now you run, let him run.
I'm out. Bye. Yo, Savage, thank you, brother. Please. And Savage, thank you for backing what I just said. 30% of the South.
Just like a bitch to try to get the last word and run.
Yeah, bye. With all those non-facts.
Pro-black bitch.
Oh shit, yo, fam! I can't believe this was me.